Clean up the uppercut more. Raise them up. Yeah, make it more free. Yeah, push, push, push. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, it's your last round. So push.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick video. All right, y'all, just back with this real quick video here to give you my thoughts on some recent things that, some recent comments Stephen A. Smith had on women in pugilistic sports. And he's been getting a lot of criticism, a lot of flack on what he said. And, you know, Wmma spoke out on it. A few women in Wmma that I follow, they've been posting this video on their Instagram, which, you know, as soon as I had read what he said a couple of days ago, this was the first video that popped in my mind. I was just like, okay, this the guy to talk, right? You know, but, you know, Stephen A. Smith, first off, I have to say he's never a guy that I've taken to heart what he says. I never take his words as gold, even where he's talking about boxing. You know, when he's talking about men fighters, I don't listen to what he said. You know, I've been tuned him out. You know, it's one ear and out the other. So, you know, I'm not really going to, like, make this a bashing video or roasting video on him. I mean, you know, the intro right here, it does it alone, right? It speaks for itself. So real quick, you know, some of the things he said about women in combat sports. First off, he said this. He said, I think there's an awful lot of women who are incredibly qualified to do the jobs they're doing. Where I jump off the bandwagon is where they try to engage physically, you know, which I already disagree with that. You know, I feel like women, they bring just as much fire to the sport. That's in my opinion now. You know, I feel like a lot of women, you know, they do just as much as men. They bring the action, even more so at times, you know. So when they engage physically, I'm all for it. The next thing he said, for example, I don't ever want to see a woman boxing a man. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a woman in the UFC fighting a man, even though there are some women out there that will kick dudes' butts. Okay, I agree with that. Those are freak shows. I don't want to see those type of fights. You know, women versus men, I don't think we're there yet. But if we ever go there, I'm definitely going to be against that. You know, shock value stuff like Nunes calling out Jake Paul, you know, of course, that's not going to happen. You know, so that's a generic statement. Everybody knows they don't want to see that. I think we can all agree on that. But next thing he said here was, when I think about pugilistic sports, I don't like seeing women involved in that. I just don't like it. I wouldn't promote legislating laws to prohibit them from doing so, but I don't want to see women punching each other in the face. I don't want to see women fighting in the octagon and stuff like that. That's just me. Which, okay, definitely don't agree with that. You know, I enjoy seeing, you know, these women compete on the same level, you know, in the same sports that men do when it comes to Muay Thai, boxing, MMA, all of that. You know, I feel like women bring fire to the sport. You know, they bring fire to the sport, and they bring some particular type of styles that I enjoy. You know, so saying he doesn't want to see a woman punch another woman in the face, I mean, come on, you got to kind of get past that at this point. I mean, we're in a different age now. Women need to know how to fight. Women want to know how to fight. It brings out, you know, for some of these women that choose to fight, it's a part of their lives, you know. It's like therapy, just like even some men, you know. So I just feel like seeing women punch each other in the face at this point, come on, man, that's a part of the game. I mean, even on the outside world, I didn't see too many women getting punched in the face when I was growing up. You know, just on the real, like I didn't really see too many engaging like that. But seeing them engage now and seeing them want to compete, it never really shocked me because I knew that women fight too. You know, even on the outside world, like I'm saying, women fight out here. But in a controlled area like in the octagon of the ring, I'm fine with that. You know, I'm fine with that because it's two women fighting and it's on an even playing field. So, of course, I can't change a person's mind on that. That's why I'm not really mad at what or disappointed in what Stephen A. Smith said, because I still have a lot of friends, a lot of men friends, and, you know, some family that feel the same way. They don't want to see women engage in physical, you know, contact like that. There's still a lot of men out there. So I feel like what he's saying is just like what a lot of these other people say out here. You know, I had friends tell me that. I still continue to watch it, though. So it's not really going to mess up my outlook on the sport of WMMA, you know, or women in combat sports anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm not really like taking to heart what he says. I just feel like a lot of people out there should feel the same way. Don't listen to what he says. I know he's on a big platform and it goes out there and it can influence what other people think because that's how some people are, but it definitely doesn't influence me. I mean, what he says in one ear and out the other. Like I said, when he talks boxing, definitely doesn't change my opinion because he doesn't even know what he's talking about with some of the men fighters. You know what I mean? So don't take it to heart. You know, and I think a lot of women don't. That's why they just kind of went in and just showed you that, look, this is the guy that's talking about WMMA, this guy right here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, my final thoughts really, like I said, WMMA is here to stay. Women in combat sports is here to stay. WMMA is MMA. You know, the women out here, they bring it. They bring the fights, and I think a lot of men just need to start getting used to that and accepting it, man, because these women, they work hard and they put on solid performances, even more so exciting than the men. What was fight of the year last year, huh? What was fight of the year last year? Tell me. Y'all know. I ain't even gonna say it. And again, the number one thing, WMMA, women in WMMA is what brought me into mixed martial arts. You know what I mean? Like, watching some of these women out here fight is what made me start liking MMA. I'd seen MMA before, but I was never really big into it. I seen some of the early UFC fights my dad used to watch like 20 years ago when it first started. We had the tapes. I used to look at it. It was interesting, but it never really like sparked my interest like boxing. You know, but for some reason, what the women were doing made me like it like boxing. It really started to wake me up like it did with boxing. You know, I felt like the women were making statements. They were fighting the best competition, which the men are too, but it was their approach. You know, I think a lot of women like to strike. You know, they were out there throwing hands, training hard, and just their talk. It was just like a breath of fresh air to see these women take an approach like some of these men out here, just, you know, coming from hard lives or just coming from lives where they feel like they needed to do something with themselves. And if it meant going in there and punching somebody in the face to prove that, or kick somebody in the head, then okay, you know what I mean? Like, this is martial arts, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of women out here need to know it just as much as men now. Hell, I trained my niece in boxing a little bit now. You know, I'm going to get back on that with her, and I want her to know a discipline. I want her to know this one and maybe branch out and learn more for herself, you know. Self-defense is something women need now. You know, self-defense is just as much needed, I think, for men too. They might not get punched in the face as much as men do through a lifetime, or they might not have to fight, but you never know. It might be that one time you really need it for your life, you know. But going back to what he said, when you apply it to the octagon, I think in the octagon and the boxing ring, I like it. You know, if it's two women fighting, that's fine. If they want to punch each other in the face, that's fine, because that's what they chose to do. So they deserve to do that if they want, especially if they're going to continue to put on the good fights and be solid fighters out there and make the right call outs like Clarissa Shields or any of these other WMMA fighters in Bellator, UFC. I'm all for it. As long as they make the best fight the best, and they continue to pump, you know, these fights out, and they continue to fight with the heart they have, I'm all for WMMA. So yeah, I don't want to hear anything he says. That's just my thoughts on that. He says what a lot of other men friends I know say, and I don't take it to heart at all. But let me know, guys, what y'all think in the comment section. Watch my man do some more rounds here. Y'all like them punches, right? Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.